Shit, nigga. And tell me they ain't on. When he get the Adam, I just break my left on louder. Swing the eye like cats, and I can't let go off the louder. I don't feel these rappers on they lives, this is policy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Really think I'm playing out here from what they saying, this shit life work. People hopping in front of us, he might lose his life first. Sucking up the tail loose, never got me stressing nigga. He ain't even shit to access to them. Watch out, bless the nigga. If they open blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From your opposition, I see vision. Let me make it quick. Rappers can't spin, I ain't listening. These are factors, if your fans was your
Clap it up. Most High Christ. Apparently, we weren't supposed to hear that entire song, but we heard enough of it.
Right.
We can pop on demons like we Hellboy shit.
Right.
Lord of Christ, Islam. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatam to all the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alakam Bashem. Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. This is Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. It says 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible. The so-called Black, Latino, and First Nation people are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, and that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
You know, we've been, and shout out to our officer Yawasop 5000, he's in the house tonight. Get that brother hand. And once again, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, this is ISUPK NorCal. We're located in Richmond, California, at 2213 McDonald Avenue. That's 2213 McDonald Avenue. You come to the school, we ask that you put that address into your Google Maps, and help you find the school a lot better. Most High in Christ. Title of this class tonight is Thanksgiving Really Harmless? Is that what I said, sir?
It's Thanksgiving really harmless.
It's Thanksgiving Really Harmless. You know, it's like we've been inundated with all this Thanksgiving malarkey for this entire week. You know, as a matter of fact, for about 2 weeks now. You know, but once again, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, here to let the nation of Israel, the so-called Black, the so-called Latino, the so-called First Nation people, that we should not be celebrating Thanksgiving. You know, this is the Wednesday night law class. The law is given to Israel for a reason, right? You know, Christianity, they'll tell you you don't have to follow the law. They say the law is done away with. But what does that do to a person who was given a set of laws personally by the Most High, and then they're told that the law is done away with? That's criminal. You know, first of all, it's your oppressor that tells you the law is done away with. First of all, it's your oppressor that tells you the law is done away with. And all your preachers and pastors, they go to his seminaries, your oppressor's seminary, to learn how to teach you the Bible. Well, Scripture tells you, go not the way of the oppressor and choose none of his ways. You understand what I'm saying? But before we get into it, we're gonna read what the ISUPK is. In the ISUPK, we're educating Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians about their true heritage, which is comprised of the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Once our people begin to follow the laws in the Bible, God, or Yahweh in the Hebrew, will look down from heaven and have mercy on us. He will also send Christ to free us from our oppression. Using the Bible, the ISUPK will fix all the problems of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities, turning a lawless and immoral people into a law-abiding, righteous people. The true nationality of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, and West Indians of North, Central, and South America are the true descendants of the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, is our King. You know, that's real heavy, you know, and if you've never heard that before, you know, get into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, because this statement is so heavy. You know, this is pretty much a preamble to the nation of Israel. You know, the United States has a preamble. It talks about how it's going to treat its citizens, so on and so forth. How they're going to make sure that their citizens get all of the rights that they are entitled to. And what does America do with the so-called rights that he's supposedly given to the citizens of the United States of America? He ensures that his citizens of the United States is entitled to that preamble. They get fair and speedy trials. They get a jury of their peers. Well, guess what? This is our preamble. This is letting you know who you are as a nation, letting you know who you are, that you have rights, right? That you have a right, and that you have access to Christ coming back to free you from your oppressor. We're going to get into a few scriptures tonight. We're going to start off in Proverbs 3 and 31. Because the nation of Israel need to know that Thanksgiving is not harmless. Why would you celebrate the slaughter of your cousin? My cousin lived across the street, right? And a bunch of hoodlums, right? And who were the first hoodlums on this planet? The so-called oppressor. Come into your house, come into your land and kill all of your family members, all of your cousins. And later down the line, they celebrate the killing of all of your cousins. Come on, black man. Go ahead, sir.
And the way you bring it out is so heavy. You said cousins.
Yeah, right.
Like, especially in the black community, right. We don't really like our cousins. Yeah, right. We love our cousins, but we always fight with our cousins. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, but nobody else touch our cousins. Or we gonna, you know what I'm saying, around them. You know what I mean? Because that's my cousin.
Yeah, right.
Well, like you're saying, like the Hispanics and the Indians, we have fought in the past and been mean to each other in the past, but we shouldn't let nobody else touch our cousins. We shouldn't let nobody else touch our family members.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what heavy when you bring it out. I'm gonna sidebar just for a second. I was in Oakland today, right? And I went to a little, side truck, on Fruitvale, get some tacos. Well, I walk up and order my order, and she tells me how much it was right there. So I paid her, right? I ain't got my food yet, right? Two other so-called Latinos walked up, ordered their food. Excuse me, the sister in front of me, Hispanic sister, ordered her food. She didn't pay till she got her plate. The oppressor has done such a job on us mentally to have us warring and fighting with each other. We know that Israel was in civil war, during quote unquote biblical days, back in the past. The southern kingdom fighting against the northern kingdom. We understand that, right? But that has gone on for centuries. But here's the kicker. Your oppressor has added fuel to the fire. The oppressor knows our history. They know we've been funking for thousands of years. But what do? They come and pour gasoline on the fire. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens now is your cousins now hate you more than ever. But the good news is Christ came, for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You understand? So he came to bring the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom back together. And there's a part of me that this morning wanted to go off and say, hey, you know what? Why did you make them pay, make me pay before I got my food, and they was able to just order and get their food afterwards, right? But the answer to that is because our oppressor has trained us to hate each other even worse. Our oppressor has trained us to trust each other less. You know, we will trust our oppressor before we trust our brother, before we trust our cousin. You know, so that's a mental job that the oppressor has done on us, the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom.
Right.
You know, and guess what? So-called black man, you are more responsible for bringing this Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom back together. The scripture says Judah carries a scepter. You know, so it's your job, so-called black man. I don't care how much you may not like your neighbor, your cousin, that Hispanic, that Native Indian man. You are responsible for bringing us back together. Even if your feelings get hurt from having to pay for your food before anybody else. You got to not be emotional and understand that your brother, your sister has been conditioned to hate you. But how do you counteract that? You turn the other cheek and love your brother. You love your sister. You got that, sir?
Come on, I got it. It's Proverbs chapter 3, verse
31.
Verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Most High Christ. Envy not thou oppressor, and choose none of his ways. You know, the Native Indian, right? The Latinos, right? They were the first of Israel to go into slavery. You know, they went in two waves even before the so-called black was brought across the Atlantic from North Africa, Western Africa. They got hit with two waves. First, Christopher Columbus comes over, right? And try to make like he loves everybody. He's even writing in his journal how peaceful the natives are here, you know, so on and so forth. And then he turns around and start killing them. They trusted him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote in his journals how peaceful and how docile they were. Don't get me wrong, they were peaceful and docile. That's only because they trusted him. You know, these were warriors, you know, that was fooled by our oppressor. You know, and then further down the line, Thanksgiving come in and we'll get into that. But initially, you got to understand the so-called black, the so-called Latino, the so-called First Nation people, we are such a trusting and loving people. You know, if you recall growing up in your neighborhoods, I know in mine, you know, there was nothing but blacks in my neighborhood. But guess what? Every time a so-called oppressor moved into our neighborhood, you know what we did? We embraced them. Whenever an Asian family moved into our neighborhood, what do? We embrace them. You know, now you got Chinatown in every single city in America, eating off of so-called Black Americans, eating off of so-called Hispanics, eating off of so-called Native Americans. So here's what happened. You know, Most High told us to separate from them. You know, and let's go to Zephaniah 2:1, sir, about the shop. You know, because here's what happens. We are so loving and so trusting, right? That our oppressor comes into our neighborhoods. Our oppressor comes into our businesses, right? And the next thing you know, they are over us. You know, if you're lucky or blessed enough to get a small business loan, you know, plumbing service or electrical service or something like that, you hire you hire an oppressor, next thing you know, he'll be running your business and you'll be working for him. It is designed that way, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man. You can't go anywhere without the oppressor knowing that they are over you, even if you operate your own business. They will come into your house and tell you how to run your house. What happened in the 50s and 60s? They came into our homes and chase the black man out into the community to hang out on the corners, telling your ribs that you cannot come in the house, because if you come in the house, they won't give you aid. In one fell swoop, they came over and took over our houses, taking the place of the black man. You know, something that Gerald Muhammad brought up years ago, one of the first things I heard when I truth that rung true to me was the black woman is the white man's lieutenant. You understand? And anything that he puts into place, she's going to enforce it. She's going to enforce because you don't make, quote unquote, enough money that you can't be in the house. So therefore, what do we need to do? Read that, please, Professor.
Zephaniah 21.
Count.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Gather yourselves together, black man, Latino man, First Nation man. Gather yourselves together. Where are you going to gather at on this planet? The only place for you to gather is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yohanan. Go ahead.
Yeah, gather together. O nation not desired.
O nation not desired. Who's not desired more than the so-called black, Latino, and Native American man? First Nation man. It's a lot here. You know, we don't understand that as together we're a nation. You know, we're so divided that the First Nation man, woman, and child will think that they're struggling all by themselves. The Latino man, woman, and child will think that they're struggling all by themselves. The so-called Negro, the so-called black man will believe that they're struggling all by themselves. But what do we do as individuals? What do we do as groups? We allow and welcome all of the other nations. We embrace them to our detriment. You know, and that's one of the things that'll be celebrated tomorrow over turkey, corn, dressing, and all that other kind of stuff, right? And inclusiveness, you know, being able to love everybody. If you could just learn how to stop being so selfish and understand you should not partake in your oppressor's holidays, you'll be a whole lot better off. So if you eat turkey tomorrow, you probably should choke on that turkey. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even eat no corn on that day. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go so far as I wouldn't even watch a goddamn football game.
Right.
Because that's going the way of your oppressor.
Exactly.
You're gonna sit down and watch some damn football games on the day commemorating the slaughter of 77 million northern tribesmen. Throwing around a pigskin. Go ahead, sir.
And that's when the oppressor make a lot of money. I remember, you know, working for like Pizza Hut and delivery jobs.
Right.
You know, Christmas and these holidays is where, you know, those people make a lot of money. So like the oppressor all the way around makes a lot of money. That's why the advertisements be about pizza or beer and things like that, because that's what the oppressor, all around the oppressor gets paid for these things. And it makes you drive out there and go do everything that the oppressor tell you to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go watch a football show, they're gonna show pizza, you're gonna order pizza, you're gonna order wings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm right. And what you bring out is so heavy, sir, because, you know, the oppressor, I would say oppressors,
right,
are running their business all year round, right? They will have you believe that they're operating in the red for that whole year, right? But then what happens around the so-called holiday? What's going to happen this Friday, Black Friday, right? They will have you believe that they're not making money throughout the year, right? So what they do is they would have you be ignorant, continue to celebrate these so-called holidays so that they can make money off of you. Shalom, Lord Christ says. But yeah, they will have you believe that they're operating in the red throughout the year, but they're not. But what actually happens is during this time of year, it's bonus time for your oppressor. It's bonus time, just like the other one just said. They're selling more pizza, they're selling more beer, they're selling more alcohol, they're selling more turkeys. Those turkeys, they've been waiting, or not waiting, I should say. You understand what I'm saying? So, like it. So during this time of year, the so-called Thanksgiving, the so-called Christmas, so on and so forth, that's when they're going to get their bonuses. Not only just off the rest of the nation, but they're going to really get their bonuses on the backs of Israel.
Right.
The so-called Black, so-called Latino, so-called First Nation man, woman, and child.
Right.
So if you care anything about Black people, if you care anything about Latino people, if you care anything about First Nation people, you would throw all that food you bought last night and put it in the garbage. Because Thanksgiving is not harmless to the nation of Israel. Thanksgiving has our people destroyed. That's all you hear throughout the whole week is people talking about what they're going to eat. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And these people are hearing that there were 77 million of their brothers and their sisters or their cousins that were slaughtered throughout that entire process. That was just the start of this nation in Northern Kingdom going into slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then you have that second part. So like, if I may, where Thanksgiving come in and the so-called Englishman came over here calling themselves trying to gain religious freedom from England, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, bamboozling our people into believing that they were friends, because what did the natives do? They attempted to help them. They tried to help them. What did they get in return? Blankets filled with chicken pox.
Right.
What did they get in return? They got in return being slaughtered by your oppressor.
Right.
We were just in Proverbs 30 or 31. Well, actually, it was Zephaniah 2 actually.
Yeah.
So we're kind of wrapping it up. We'll probably go to Second Ezra 13:39 after this. But yeah, I check out a few brothers who are, history buffs, who a lot of these things we learn in school, about Thanksgiving, right? They indoctrinate us at a very, very early young age. They give us a piece of paper and they give us a crayon, put your hand on a piece of paper and start tracing your hand and make a goddamn turkey, right? And color in all the feathers, so on and so forth. That's indoctrination. In the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are here to unindoctrinate you. We are here to indoctrinate you into the truth, to indoctrinate you into your culture, this Bible, to indoctrinate you into understanding and believing that Christ is coming back with 200 million angels and cracking the sky to save you from your oppressor. I was talking to a sister today, you go through the stores, people say, happy foolishness, right?
Right.
Sometimes you just don't say nothing. Sometimes, I don't celebrate that. I don't do that. And so I got to the cashier, she goes, you don't celebrate? No, I don't celebrate that. I celebrate the holy days in the Bible. That's what I celebrate. And I told her it could be found in Leviticus chapter 23.
Right.
She goes, you know what she said? I haven't read the Bible in years, but she believes in God, right? That's the problem. we believe in God, but we don't believe what God said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we say we believe in the Bible, but we don't believe what the Bible said.
Right.
You know, when it comes to interrupting your flesh, interrupting your selfish needs, your selfish wants, no, that's too hard to do. You know, when we really get down when the rubber meets the road, those physical things are really the easiest things to do. You know, it's easy to stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. It's easy, right? But we've been so indoctrinated to believe that we should eat those things. You know, it keeps us trapped. What's hard is for somebody in the world is to start being a brother to your brother, being a brother to your sister, a sister to your brother. You know, being a brother to your mother, being a brother to your father, being a brother to your son. You know, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, the brotherhood classes have been so priceless for this nation, right? Because we look at our brother, we look at our children, we look at our sisters and understand the oppression that we've been under for 400 years and more. You know, so a brother who has shortcomings, a sister that has shortcomings, I can look at them and we can look at each other and understand, God damn, I'm acting like this because I've been oppressed all my life. I'm acting like this because I've been oppressed all my life and I didn't even know it. I react this way because I've been oppressed. I react this way because I've been lied to, right? Now, we're responsible for getting out of that, right? But at the same time, we charge our oppressor first. The white man for all your problems. That's a damn lie. Any problem we have, we can trace it back to our oppressor.
Right.
Any problem we have, we trace it back to our oppressor. Let's go to Second Ezra. Shall I get there with you? Second Ezra 13:39.
Second Ezra
Oh, sorry.
13 and 9.
13:39. Now, I know the majority of people who might catch this broadcast tomorrow are probably already in the truth, probably dabbling with the truth, and you probably won't eat any turkey tomorrow. You probably won't watch no bowl games tomorrow, you know. But this is to the person who's flipping through the channels and still think that Thanksgiving is harmless. This is to the person that believes that they can eat turkey on the same day that your oppressor tells you to eat turkey. This is to the person who believes that they can go out, and don't get me wrong, you get a deal, you know what I'm saying, save some money and stuff, right? But don't be religious about that stuff. If you need something, go get it. Save a couple of dollars, that's fine. But go ahead, sir.
Like turkey, it's like it happens year round, right? You can't just buy turkey whenever you want to, of course. But this what you can do is not do it on the same day, cook it on the same day and as the oppressor. Or even cranberry sauce. Oh, I like cranberry sauce. They love to bring that fact up.
Right.
I just like cranberry sauce. Well, you know, cranberry sauce, you can't get that anywhere. Where do you find cranberry sauce at?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Save it for the next day. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, a week after or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to, you know, do it the same day as everybody else. That's when it comes to sin. You know what I'm saying? That's when it comes to, you know, going against your culture.
Yeah, right. And so like I said, I said what you bring out because, you know, in this truth, you have to have a zeal for this truth. You got to be a zealot. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and you know, you visit your family members and everything, right? And even leading up to this so-called oppressor's holiday, right? They are doing things already in the spirit of that day of slaughter. They're already doing things on Tuesday and Wednesday, right? they're already bringing quote unquote pre-Thanksgiving meals. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, being in the truth, I'm just keenly aware of the foolishness. You understand what I'm saying? And I learn from men greater than me. You know, you bringing a plate of greens over on Tuesday, right? You're really practicing for Thursday.
Right.
You understand? You making yams on Tuesday, you're really practicing for Thursday. I don't want none of that.
Also, some people say that, you know, when they do say that, they just doing this because they doing it and they just like it. Right. They doing it before.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I say you gotta do it after, like, man.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, right.
Nobody shows up after, right? Right. Everybody leave that day with the plates. They have 100 plates, and then your family, you know, that cousin. Oh, we only get together because I ain't seen my cousin in a minute. But you know what I'm saying? The cousin, he walking out at the end of the day, he walking out with the plates.
Right.
That's why, okay, try to do it the day after. Your cousin ain't gonna show up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna show up.
Exactly.
He only showing up for food.
Yeah, right. And the food, the festivities, and the paganism.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because, you know, I was watching Officer Caraniala's class last night, you know, earlier today actually, and brothers talking about how, you know, at these gatherings, you know, it's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm paraphrasing, you know, because now, right before they eat, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna go outside and smoke weed to prepare their appetites. You understand what I'm saying? You know, the old and the young are gonna be outside smoking weed. You know,
and before though.
Exactly.
Before, after.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? The young kids gonna be in the garage smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? And
damn right.
We're gonna go in. Let's go eat something now.
Right.
Let's go do, man, that shit is wicked. So
and Salakia, you know, I just gotta bring it out. You know, because all kinds of wickedness happens during these so-called holidays when these families get together who don't even like each other. You know, what happens? They fight. What else has happened? Somebody's probably in the back room getting molested. I know we don't want to hear that.
Right.
But tomorrow, there's kids who's going to be molested at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because they're gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Especially the parents, they be like, they're gonna be doing too much. So they're gonna go get the watermelon, go get the turkey. I gotta go do this and gotta do that. And they ain't gonna be watching the kids.
Yeah, right.
They don't know Uncle Pete is walking around.
Right.
The parents are probably so under the influence of their drugs and their alcohol that they not even paying attention.
Right.
That uncle that got that niece on his lap right there, right, while they're sitting right there. You know, it's crazy.
Right.
It can happen right in the face. Yeah.
Right. Damn right. And you know, and all this stuff is some ugly and harmful things that are happening. Once again, the question is Thanksgiving really harmless? The answer is hell no. It's not harmless. It's creating trauma. It's creating tragedy within our communities. You know, and I know the class was going to go in this direction, but that is what Thanksgiving does, right? Your oppressor raped and ravaged us, so we rape and ravage each other.
Right. Right.
Get into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding John Yohana, so you can learn how to be a father. You can learn how to be a son. So you can learn how to be a protector for Israel, for your nation. So that when you see injustices happening, you can say something. You can do something. Stop being a goddamn coward. If you eat turkey tomorrow, you are a coward.
Right.
If you watch a goddamn football game tomorrow in honor of Thanksgiving and you don't eat no turkey, you're a coward. Yeah, that's right. I said it. You won't enjoy that football game tomorrow now, will you?
Right.
It's just like eating turkey. It's just like eating corn in celebration of the slaughter of your cousins. You know, we talk about the pilgrims, you know, which is where Thanksgiving come from, right? Which is, you know, Christopher Columbus is just a preview, right? But when the pilgrims came over here, you know, they celebrated Thanksgiving because what, and I'm paraphrasing, you know, they say that, which this happens throughout history to our people, that a First Nation man killed an oppressor. So how do they respond to, and it was false in the first place, right? And a First Nation man killing one oppressor, what do? They come and kill 500 of us for something that didn't even happen. And they perpetuate that throughout history. Whistling at a white woman. Let's drag him by the car. Let's choke him out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He looked at a woman wrong. He looked at her on the elevator wrong. He said something to her on the elevator. Let's bomb the whole community. That's what your oppressor does. And you want to say that God loves everybody. You want to say that Jesus loves everybody. And you don't understand the simple concept that Christ said, I come not but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Your oppressor has got you so brainwashed that you want to give all of that away to your oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming to the school, learn the history, right? You know, and I'm talking about the whole 12 tribes for a moment. You know, nobody even knew who the 12 tribes were until the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge came along.
Right.
Even the oppressor, that fake person calling themselves us in the Middle East, didn't know who the 12 tribes were. They will call themselves a Jew. They will call them, you know, I even heard someone talk about being the tribe of Judah. No way you could be the tribe of Judah, right? They even refer to themselves as the Maccabees. You understand? But once you start getting into this word and understanding the teachings of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge from this Bible, the actual truth of the Bible, and, you know, as it says in Proverbs, you know, he has not dealt so with any other nation. He's only dealing with us, you know. So in Genesis chapter 49, you know, Jacob prophesied what's going to befall each and every one of his 12 sons. Who put that together? The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Nobody else knew who the 12 tribes were. You know, and you got brothers who have been in this truth, who leave this truth and teach the 12 tribes chart. No, you don't want to be here, leave our chart alone.
Right.
It's a lot. You understand? You just want to take the parts that you like. But you want to be a selfish bastard when it comes to practicing this truth. You want to be a selfish bastard when it comes to your flesh. You want to be a selfish bastard when it comes to money. And fake Israelites would probably be celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow too. And probably singing in skirts and so on and so forth. You know, there's a lot of people online calling themselves awake on Facebook, you know, on YouTube and Instagram, so on and so forth. But you know what they're going to do tomorrow? They're going to celebrate Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. We second Ezra is 13 and 39. Bumpers off.
You said second Ezra's?
Come, sir. Chapter 13, verse 39. You know, we're going to see a pattern here, you know, about how we understand that Thanksgiving is not so harmless. You know, because the nature of Israel, once again, is to be trusted. Read,
second Ezra's, chapter 13, verse 39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude into him.
So the Lord gathered another peaceable multitude unto him. Question is, who is that peaceable multitude? Read, sir.
Those are the 10 tribes.
Those are the 10 tribes. Another peaceable multitude. Those are the 10 tribes. Read.
Which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osei, the king whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them away, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. So
right there, you know, we know there's 12 tribes, right? But this is talking about the 10 tribes, the northern kingdom. What happened to them? They went into captivity, right? So the northern kingdom is obviously separated from the southern kingdom at this point. These are the 10 tribes. It's right here in the Apocrypha, in the Bible. You know, read the next chapter.
But they took the counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen, right? So they were carried captive and counseled among themselves. They're going to leave these heathens. Read.
And go forth into a further country.
And go forth into a further country.
Where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. So that means no man of any nation had ever dwelt in this land that they're talking about going to. That had to be prophetic for them to understand that they're going to go so far away from this oppressor and find a land that no man has ever been in. Read about Bishop.
That they might there keep the statutes which they never kept in their own land.
So they knew that they didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments in their own land. They go into captivity and realize that they're in captivity because they didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Read.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
So the Most High was guiding them, pointing the way, right? And we're talking about thousands and thousands of years ago. What do we use today? We use GPS. You know, we don't even use maps anymore. We use GPS, right? But the Lord is leading the nation of Israel, the northern kingdom, to another land. Read.
I think that's why they probably think like the native Indians be just going off the wind and stars. Right. Oh, we just gonna, all right. You know what I'm saying? They're always trying to make it like it's some spectacular stuff, like something. But it really was like you said, like the Lord was really leading them. You know what I'm saying? To, you know what I'm saying, let them know where they needed to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. That's so heavy what you're bringing out, sir, because you know what are they famous for? They're famous for living off the land. Right. You know, they're famous for finding things. They're for tracking. You understand? As a matter of fact, in World War II, you know, the United States was getting ready to lose the war. And who did they utilize to win that war? First Nation men. Because of how the Lord had led them before, this is just something that's in them because that's what the Most High put in him. Mm-hmm. That's what the Most High put in us. You know, how to navigate our way through these lands, how to navigate our way through the society. You know, but the only way you can navigate your way through this society is to understand who your goddamn oppressor is. That's right. If you don't start teaching your children who the enemy is from the time they come out the womb, you're doing a disservice to your children. No longer will we embrace our oppressor.
Right.
We'll get along with them. We'll be peaceable with them. We'll work with them, but we will not embrace them. He will not be coming to the Passover.
That's right.
He will not be coming to the Feast of Purim.
Right.
They will not be coming to Sabbath service.
That's right.
Would you like to read, sir?
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go,
Right.
namely of a year and a half. In the same region is called Azareth.
That's it right there. Hazareth. That's America. That's the northern continent. That's this place where we are right now.
America. No, it's like,
Right.
I didn't know. I should have said that. Yeah, that's really
Right. Right. So, at the end of the day, and our oppressor, the fake people, right? They know what this word says. Christopher Columbus didn't find this place by mistake. He knew where we were. Every nation knows that the nation of Israel are the children of the Most High. The so-called Black, the so-called Latino, and so-called First Nation people. They know who we are. Every nation wants to eat off of us. Every nation advertises to us. Every nation uses us to push their products. And what happened to those brothers and sisters who start pushing their products? They get lost. Go ahead, sir.
Listen, the white man don't make nothing great.
Right.
We make it great.
Yeah, right.
Like America would be great. Because, the white man, if he would have came here, he would have saw the snow and things like that. He's like, this land is uninhabitable. You know what I'm saying? But he wouldn't know to, like, besides that, like the Native Indians showed him how to live through the winter, and he saw the beautiful, things that come along with that. But what I'm saying is, like, the white man, he loved to discover things.
Right.
Like, but it was already discovered, dude. Like, dude, you ain't make it cool. It was already discovered, Like, what did the white man ever discover and the whole world was like, oh, look at that. Look what he found.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing.
If I may, that's why they try to be like, oh, we discovered fire and we made the wheel.
Yeah. They didn't even do that. They ain't do that. They ain't do none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like you said, they did try to do that in a slick way. You know what I'm saying? But like, nothing come cool, from hanging with the white man or
Right.
You ain't gonna get nothing done doing nothing. You're just gonna smoke weed and just be, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I believe they was smoking weed back then. Nah, go ahead, though. So like,
Coke.
right. I'm just saying nothing. They don't, got nothing to offer.
Right.
Nobody.
Right. Right. And what you said earlier was so heavy, right? Because they got here, and like you say, the terrain, the weather, so on and so forth, cannot be inviting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they had to use that thing that's inside of them, that thing to be a cunning hunter, and wait.
Right.
Right. They had to wait, and they watched, and they saw how peaceable the Northern Kingdom was.
Mm-hmm.
They saw how peaceable they were, and they saw a way that they could take advantage of them, right? Esau is a cunning hunter, and that's part of it, to sit and wait and watch, right? Because they're right there at 39, it says, and whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him. So that peaceable multitude came over here, trying to make this work, trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And what happens? They get interrupted. Go Go ahead, sir.
If I can go a step further,
Come.
the reason they got conquered is because they came in, ended up not doing what they were supposed to.
Come.
You know, and like you were saying about the white man being a cunning hunter, like he'll dress up like a damn deer and hang with the deers. He'll rub himself in feces.
Right.
And he'll make a grass suit.
Right.
And just be grass just to hunt people. And like you're saying, the Native Americans being peaceable, you know what I'm saying, being Israelites, you know what I'm saying, that understanding that when the white man put the feather on his head and when he tried to do anything like you, he's not doing it to be you. He's mocking you, he's mimicking you, crouching so that he can get up and take it over. That's why you got $5 Indians.
Right. That's what you had bring up. Kevin kind of brought that out a little earlier too.
Good night.
Yeah,
He put the like if I'm trying to attract the deer, I'm gonna put the deer pits on me. Wait a minute, devil man. So he
I
put
never do that.
I
don't get with this bow.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the deer pits on me. So now the deers come up to me, and I'm a deer. You know what I'm saying?
Now you can just say.
Wait a minute, devil man.
Damn right. And like I said, what you bring out is so heavy, sir, because that's exactly what happens here to us every single day. You know, they put on these TV commercials, they get all this advertising. Go ahead, sir.
If I may, who's the girl? We did it, Joe.
Kamala Harris.
She came in. She's not a nigga at all. She came in with some hot sauce. Hot sauce got niggas to vote for her. You know what I'm saying? She pulled out the hot sauce in a purse of blue red. Was that her?
I think that was Hillary.
Nah, that wasn't Hillary, man.
They may have both had hot sauce.
They probably both did the same thing. It was like, shit, that worked for you? We'll do. But like, I remember some goddamn woman, you know what I'm saying, that thought she was black and then she brought her hot sauce. You know what I'm saying?
No, that was her. Yep, even top ramen or some shit like that.
Yeah, some trying to be black. You know what I'm saying? But she wasn't black. She wasn't black. She ain't black at all, man. She ain't got one nigga bone in her body. I'd say you had 1% of your body, but that girl is East Indian and
Caucasian.
Right. Damn right. And
so she did the same thing. It's like in my baby.
no, that's what, sir. You know what y'all bring out so heavy because. Go ahead, sir.
God damn, them armbands over there, murderers, man.
Shout out to Officer Charlie Ward. You know, repaired it for me most times, right? You know, but yeah, Salakia, you know, it's like everything is geared to destroying us. All the advertisement, right? They advertise these cars, they advertise, you know, houses and everything, right? And what do? They give us the highest interest rates, right? Having us want to commit suicide just like them. You know, but that's one thing a Negro ain't gonna do is gonna jump out of the side of a building for some damn money. You know, everybody's losing money in the stock market. You know, everybody's losing money from cryptocurrency. Now, that's one thing brothers did. They did some cryptocurrency and we lost it all, right? But we ain't jumping out of no building because of it. You understand what I'm saying? And so everything is geared toward getting us to destroy ourselves. Everything, you know. So let's go to Psalms chapter 55. Psalm 55, we're going to start at verse 20 to 21. You know, once again, Thanksgiving is not harmless. You know, we just talked about it a second ago. What are they going to advertise on TV tomorrow? They're going to advertise beers. They're going to advertise a bunch of food. They're going to advertise a bunch of services, right? And make up for all those sales that they didn't make throughout the year. Right? They're going to live deliciously off of you watching that goddamn TV. They're going to live deliciously off of you buying that new car. Thanksgiving is not harmless. Got that, sir?
And you're right with the car situation. They love playing cars during like holidays. They driving through snow.
Right.
They driving through dirt.
Right.
First of all, California ain't got no stuff like that. I don't know what drove you out to buy a car because y'all saw that commercial.
That Lexus commercial. It got the bow on top of it.
Yeah.
Cadillac.
Yeah.
It does something.
Yeah, you want to buy a new car. You want to go buy a car. And then now you buy a car that you can't afford. You think that you can afford it because you put a down payment on it. But then 6 months later, they come get your car. And they got my car, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Right. Yeah, right.
So like it's 21, you said 20?
55, start verse 20, sir.
All right, no sweat. Psalms chapter 55, verse 20. You want me to read? You got it.
Psalm chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
So once again, that's the oppressor. You know, putting forth his hand to those that be at peace with him. You know, when Christopher Columbus came over, we attempted, our cousins tried to be at peace with them. He slaughtered them. When the Pilgrims came over, they tried to be at peace with them. He slaughtered them. It's like a research.
He hath broken his covenant.
He has broken his covenant. Damn. You know, I don't even know how many covenants our oppressor made with the Northern Kingdom over here on this piece of land. And he has broken every single one of them. Go ahead, sir.
Is Alexa on?
Nah, because it ain't internet.
I'm smarter than Alexa, sir. What's the name?
Right. You are. Yeah, right. Shit, goddamn it. Right.
How many treaties that they did?
Come. Yes, looking it up, sir?
No.
Okay.
That's our people. You think she's gonna tell you? She's gonna be like, none.
Not that many.
Well, in actuality,
It was the natives that broke this treaty.
Exactly. Right. Why did the natives break the treaty? Because they were too trusting.
Right.
They believed what the oppressor was telling them.
If I may.
Go ahead, sir.
They didn't know the treaties were oppression.
Exactly. And you know, and even further to your point, it's like during that period of history, how much of the oppressor's language did they really understand? You know, you coming up with a treaty, right? And then you giving them a few shotguns. You know, you giving them, some blankets. There's probably disease. You know, and what we think we coming up because we have something that can go further than what we can shoot our arrow, bow and arrow. Sloppy, go ahead, sir.
This might be a broken number. It says of the nearly 370 treaties negotiated between the U.S. and tribal leaders, Stacker has compiled at least a list of 15 broken treaties negotiated between 1777 and 1868, using news, archival documents, and indigenous and governmental historical reports.
17.
Of the 370 treaties, 15 are recorded as broken.
Right, recorded.
That's not broken.
And we
They still breaking them today.
They're still breaking them today.
Donald Trump just did what? Like
Keystone Pipeline.
Yeah, the pipeline or whatnot. That was their secret land. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to get on that land.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they still bring it to this day.
Right. And they're still breaking treaties with the so-called African American. Right. They said you're supposed to have the right to vote, although we don't vote. You know, how you gonna give somebody a quote unquote right to vote, and it still has to be renewed or ratified every 30 or 40 years? Most high price. Got a nigga looking straight now. So our oppressor is so devious, right? He thinks like he has us believing that we are equal with him. Right. You know, in our reality, once we start learning these laws, statutes, and commandments and learning our culture, there's no way that he can be equal to us. You understand? So all of these things that happen in our society, that causes this melting pot to walk hand in hand, to march together, so on and so forth, for you to protest these social injustices. No, that's destroying us.
Right.
Marching has never solved anything. Tomorrow, Thanksgiving is not going to solve anything for the so-called Black, the so-called Latino, so-called First Nation man, woman, and child. It's not going to do anything to repair our nation. But you know what will do something to repair our nation? Coming to the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Muhammad. That's what's going to prepare our nation.
If I may,
Go ahead, sir.
It's of the Lord that he would have Thanksgiving be on the day that General Muhammad teaches. His Thursday night scripture breakdown.
Right.
Because I'm about to share that with people that I've been speaking to that's trying to come into the school saying, I'll be out of town for Thanksgiving.
Right.
I'll be visiting my family. So I'm going to be like, no sweat. I'm going to share this video. So you should watch this while you're with your family.
Right. Yeah, I'm right. And you don't want to miss that class tomorrow night. You do not want to miss it. If you're tuning into our channel, that's Thursday night scripture breakdown. Zero Muhammad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on live and I'm gonna be like, happy Thanksgiving, and then I'm just be talking about, you know what I'm saying, how it's so wrong. Because then your family's gonna go on there and they're gonna think that you celebrating it just like them and things like that, and they gonna want to come on and happy Thanksgiving, and they don't know what the hell it's about. So they just, But I ain't gonna do that just out of respect of my brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
I ain't gonna say happy nothing.
Yeah, so like I said, what if you did,
Yeah.
for any brother or sister in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, for them to put that in it, that is probably the ultimate clickbait.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. My little live ain't gonna do
Happy
nothing.
Thanksgiving.
Right.
Now that I got your attention,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, because it's amazing what you're talking about, because some of us have more than one Facebook account, right?
Yeah.
And if you got a Facebook account, your Hebrew name, your slave name, so on and so forth, right? It's people who will never ever respond to you using your government name,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they say that's a government name, but he's talking about all this truth stuff.
Yeah.
He's talking about all these things that will heal the nation of Israel. He's talking about all these things about the law, statutes, and commandments, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's making me realize how dirty I am. But he says, happy Thanksgiving. And he clicks on, or she clicks on.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, he changed.
The scripture breakdown class.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. It's like,
They're gonna think he changed and shit, yeah.
But
Simple with that.
but Con, I appreciate that, sir. I'm not gonna do it. We're at 55 and 20, right?
21.
Con, research.
Psalm chapter
So
55.
like, sir, if I may, read 20 over again, Barbara Shaw.
Verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
We know that's our oppressor. Read.
21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Right.
But war was in his heart.
The war was in his heart. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. And that's an amazing thing, because guess what? You know what? We know that there are some so-called decent white people. What I mean by decent oppressors is, right, they're not trying to kill you as an individual, right? But for some way, some reason, that even though they're not out to hurt you, once they find out who you are, and once they find out who they are, their true nature starts to come out.
Okay.
So the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
I got it.
Go ahead, Richard.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Yet were they drawn swords. That is the history of Thanksgiving.
That's right.
On both sides of Thanksgiving. Christopher Columbus came over, words softer than butter, smoother than oil. But war was continually in his heart. His sword was always drawn. So if you don't start teaching, once again, who the oppressor is to your children, you're doing your children a disservice. Proverbs 3:31.
And not only that, like, you know what I'm saying, like, just knowing that these holidays that, you know what I'm saying, we celebrate,
right,
is thinking that that's not, you know, dangerous. Right. Thinking that that's just, oh, it's all good. Thinking that it's just smooth. Thinking that it's just let it go. You know what I'm saying? But really, it's killing us.
Right.
It really is drawing swords. Really is
right.
to destroy us. You know what I'm saying? Economically and, you know what I'm saying, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's doing both, especially Christmas. Christmas kills the spirit of niggas and it kills their pockets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you out there trying to get everybody a present that don't need a present, that don't need nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? And now you about to just go sell your ass, excuse me, sell your body for it and right. Kill for it and shoot for it, steal for it. And then, you know what I'm saying, you just doing that for who, ultimately? You know what I'm saying? The oppressor, you know?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm right. What's this?
And speaking on Christmas is what I have found out that when they buy that one present,
yeah,
they spend the rest of the whole next year paying for it.
Right. Damn.
You know, and when they ask me at work, will I work for them on that day? I'm like, sure. And I'll right. Go ahead, you can take it out, I'll work for you. And I'll watch you work yourself off for that.
Right. You're taking a day off losing money, and then you spending 10 times the amount of money that you could have been making.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the truth saved me money. It saved me not want to get presents from nobody. I mean, I still, you know what I'm saying, we still do what we do outside of it, you know what I'm saying? Right. But like, you know, at Christmas come up, man, you want to spend a bag on somebody. Like, especially if you love somebody, you like, yeah, I'm about to get this nigga. I'm about to give her, you know what I'm saying? Right. The baddest watch, I'm about to give her the baddest car, I'm about to give him, you know what I'm saying? Like that, no.
Yeah, I'm right.
And ultimately, that goes to, you know what I'm saying, the people that put you in slavery.
Yeah, I'm right, sir. And, you know, and once again, there's enough of that going around throughout the year before we even get to this time of the year.
On YouTube, do that shit. Now, Sloppy, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just confirming, you know, once again, there's enough of that going on throughout the year, you know, and once again, with all the advertising, with all the emotional strains being pulled, so on and so forth, you go further into debt, trying to perpetuate this lie, you know. And what's the lie? The lie is that you're doing better than you're actually doing. You know, anytime, I mean, it's anytime a so-called Black, so-called Latino, so-called First Nation person, if they not like $1 million or $1 billion or something, they go buy something, it's setting their life back. You know, that whole thing about interest, like you say, paying for it, you know, a year, 2 years, 10 years down the road, that's some evil stuff, man. That's evil. You know, we have commerce within our own nation, right? We know that we can buy things from each other. We know that we can borrow from each other. But guess what? We borrow from each other. We don't pay interest. And that's according to the statutes in the Bible. I borrow $10, I pay $10 back. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, go to Proverbs 3:31, stop the show.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, Thanksgiving is not harmless. It's hurting our people. You know, and you'll hear coworkers and people say, well, you know, you just want to be thankful for everything the Most High did for you, everything the Most High gave you. No, man. No, sis. You're celebrating Thanksgiving because you're selfish. You're celebrating Thanksgiving because you're greedy. You're celebrating Thanksgiving because your goddamn oppressor told you to. When are you going to start following the law, statutes, and commandments and do what the Most High told you to do? When are you going to start doing what Christ told you to do? When are you going to accept the fact that these laws, statutes, and commandments belong to you? Read that, sir.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Envy thou not the oppressor. You know, sometimes, we go through life, and it's truth, right? They think we just made up the word oppressor. You always talking about the oppression. You're always talking about the so-called man or whatever all this other kind of stuff is, right? But here it is in black and white right here. He's telling the children of Israel to envy not thy oppressor. The Most High is telling you, you have oppressors. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man. You have an oppressor. You have oppressors.
Right.
Stop envying your oppressors and oppressors. You envy him so much that you do everything that he does. You know, we know that our oppressor, they were the first drive-by shooters.
That's right.
You know, Karan Yara brought it out in his class last night, about the First Nation man who was accused of killing an oppressor, in the Pilgrim community. They killed 500 of our cousins. They have been mass shooting since the beginning of this country. And they're still mass shooters. And I know we know why they're mass shooters. Because of white privilege.
That's right.
Right.
They refuse to apply these laws that they apply to us to their own. They refuse to take their oppressors' guns when they have demonstrated that they're mentally ill, that there's something wrong with them, or they're just plain evil. But let a black man want to protect his family, and he called the police because he thinks there's a prowler in his backyard or whatever. And they come in your house looking around, they take your weapons from you.
Right.
So envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. That includes celebrating Thanksgiving. That includes sitting down, watching that damn football game tomorrow, whether you want to accept that or not. So I go to Amos 5:21. Get there with you.
Yeah, 521.
Cover concert, book of Amos, chapter 5:21. You have it, sis?
Yes.
Read up, Bishop. Slack, how would you get there? For a lot of people that's watching these classes, you've heard these scriptures over and over again. But you know, there's never anything wrong with getting a refresher, getting a reminder, to get validation of why you're doing what you're doing. To understand that you're not in this alone. You know, and for you fake Israelites that may be watching, for you to understand where this comes from.
What is it?
Amos 5:21, sir.
All right. Amos chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days.
This is the Most High talking to his prophet Amos. He's talking about one of those days, Thanksgiving tomorrow. Read that from the top up the show. He hates it.
I despise
He despises it.
your feast days.
Your feast day. You're having a feast day tomorrow. The Most High says he hates and despises it. Read.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
He will not smell in your solemn assemblies. He's not smelling none of that. He's not smelling anything that you put on fire tomorrow.
And it's so important because, like, you know, and that's how you know it's talking about the children of Israel.
Right.
Right? Because, like, you know, the children of Israel know that, you know, when we celebrate our high holy days, you know, when we give our burnt offerings and when we you know, got our feast days, you know what I'm saying, you know, that smell go up to the Most High.
Right.
We want to smell it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
When we in our righteousness. But, you know, when we in our wrongness and things like that, you don't even want to smell that. You know what I'm saying? And that'll make you, like, just imagine your father or somebody, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Love to used to listen to your music or whatever you used to do that make, you know what I'm saying, him happy or whatnot. And then he don't even want to listen to it no more. Or he don't even want to, you know what I'm saying, watch it no more or do whatever. He don't even want to get food no more or whatever it may be. That's the same way, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we used to, you know what I'm saying, do that for the Most High. That's why I call it high holiday. We did it for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just for us, it was for the Most High. We killed those lambs and, you know what I'm saying, made it the best of the best for him.
Right.
Not for, it really wasn't for us like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was for him to smell that and to get the best of the best for him, not
Right.
for us.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So now, you know what I'm saying, the white man have, you know what I'm saying, made us do this and think that it's righteous.
Right.
That's why he's saying, I ain't even about to follow that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm right.
And watch that, you know what I'm saying, or even smell it.
Yeah, I'm right. Would you bring out so heavy, sir? Because it's right here in the Bible. He says, I hate and not despise.
Right.
I'm not smelling that shit. Sloppy.
Right.
You know?
And it's just like this too, you know what I'm saying? I'm remember this old joke. It's funny, man. It was like, you know what I'm saying, hey, would you go watch Ice Spice? Or somebody, right? Say some artist that you don't even, you know what I'm saying, like or something like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Some artists that you don't even, you know, want to even wouldn't watch, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like something like that. And somebody's like, oh, this person's in town, and you'd be like, man, I wouldn't even watch that person if they was in my backyard performing for free. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Lord is. You in his backyard performing for free, he don't even want to listen to you. He don't even want to smell nothing that you got going on.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
And if I may, they try to make Thanksgiving biblical.
you got it. Yep. You say they trying to make it biblical?
They try to make Thanksgiving biblical. You know what I'm saying? Because the church service before Thanksgiving and the church service after Thanksgiving is about what? Thanksgiving.
Just like
I don't know if y'all remember. Hey, I've been in the truth for a really short while, so I remember all that all that foolishness. You know, Most High Christ for somebody that had never ever been in a goddamn Christian church.
If I may.
Go ahead, sir.
The verse that pulls is 1 Timothy 4:3.
1 Timothy 4:3.
Yeah.
Cool, sir.
1 Timothy.
Matter of fact, it It's really 4 and 4. It's really 4 and 4. But 4 and 4 is more what they would do. Yeah, it's exactly 4 and 4.
Yes, sir.
I'll read it. 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 4. For every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving.
Damn right. I remember that from the Christian church, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but here's the thing. They want to apply that to eating anything that they want to eat. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas you already have a dietary law. That dietary law is for a reason. This doesn't mean eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster and ham, that honey glazed ham. Go ahead, sir, break it down.
The next verse is the one that really is. Verse 5, for it is sanctified
Right.
by the word of God and prayer.
Damn right. Damn right. That's destroying our people.
You know what we should do? Nah, hey, I'm gonna let it go on.
Not, you know, but what you bring up is so heavy, sir, because that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, Timothy wasn't talking about unclean foods. He was talking about lawful foods that you can eat, that you give Thanksgiving for. You got something else, sir?
You know, this Thanksgiving isn't biblical at all. So
Right.
he wasn't even what they're praying. They're praying over ham.
Right.
And even though the turkey is awful, they're praying over something that's representative of murder.
Right.
Of our brothers.
Damn right.
And you can't clean that.
No, not at all. Yeah. Yeah.
They celebrate Thanksgiving. No,
Say it again.
they're celebrating Thanksgiving.
Right. Right. You know, and you know,
Who is?
You hear me?
Oh, over there?
yeah, I mean, you know, once again, it's that paganism, right? And you know, we know Israel got to make a living. We know we got to make a living, right? You know, and may the Lord have mercy on them, right? Because our neighbors are racking up. They service Israel. They cut beards, they cut hair, they relax hair, so on and so forth. They dye it, they fry it, whatever it is they do. They've been doing that this whole week.
Right.
Right? And the nail shops. So they believe in Thanksgiving. But what are we here for? At 2213 McDonald Avenue, we're here to be a beacon to our people. We're waiting for them to walk through the front door, waiting for them to walk through the back door and then start learning what these laws and statutes, commandments say. Go ahead, sis.
All right. I feel that they try to feed us a bone when they took Columbus out of the holiday, and they took it out of the kids' books and stuff, but they still got control over it because everybody have went in the store, you go in the store is packed.
Right.
And it's packed, but these are all these people who can't pay their bills.
Right.
These are all these people who are struggling. I mean, inflation is real.
Right.
You know, but you gotta do all this for one day. And you can't even feed yourself day by day, but you gotta do this. I couldn't believe. And Safeway for me is expensive. It was packed, and it was so many black people. They were like, "Where's all this money coming from?
Right.
Where's all this money? All this for one day, and they're gonna do it again on the 25th."
Right.
You know, and then it's gonna be like after that, what you gonna eat?
The leftovers. I just gotta eat the leftovers.
Well, if you got
For a
family,
week.
they ain't gonna have no leftovers because families come and they take plates and put them in the cars and they come back and eat, and they take another plate and put them in the car.
Right.
It don't be nothing left over.
Right.
It don't.
But around this time, nobody has nothing. Around this time, and that's why drug dealers, that's what they give out turkeys. The Christian church You know, they tried to give out turkeys. They want to charge you. They're like, you got $5 on. You know what I'm saying? And other places they give out these turkeys and things like that, so you can celebrate it and be wicked just right along with them, man. Like, why? Come on, man. Like, man, the drug dealers, like I said, like the drug dealers. Why are you giving out turkeys? Why are you giving out turkeys, man? You giving out crack 24/7 a year, and now, right now, you giving out heroin 24/7 a year. You know what I'm saying? And now you want to give out goddamn turkeys. What is it? That's Satan, man.
Right.
Running this whole organization.
Right. If I may, I'm gonna tell you why drug dealers give away turkey.
Go ahead.
They pay $5 for a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
They pay $5 for a turkey. They gonna give you a turkey, so you gonna spend that drug money on a turkey.
That's smart.
So you can go back and buy the dime bag or the $25 bag in places you buying turkey and stuffing. So like, go ahead, sis.
And if I may, I have one even tougher than that.
That's deep. That's probably why they do that shit too, because it seems like they want to do it so they can gain the neighborhood trust and love, but it's like there ain't no goddamn love, man.
Or they get one of their dope users to go boost some turkeys and get it for free and hand it out. But I want
bikes and stuff like that, yeah, crackheads, stealing bikes.
Right.
But I want to know, what is your thought on them taking Columbus out of the whole finding America and all like that? What do you think their aim for that was? I think it's feeding us a bone. What do you say?
Well, I would say what the Bible says. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart, right? So we've been oppressed by Columbus Day, right? So they're gonna call themselves taking away Columbus Day and make it Indigenous Peoples Month. That's the gift that's destroying our hearts, that's destroying our minds. Go ahead, sir.
And to wrap it all up, Thanksgiving.
Damn right.
Like, they don't take away the main pain.
Right.
It's like the person that rapes you. We'll take his picture off the wall.
Damn right.
But he's invited to dinner.
Right.
Damn.
Exactly. And exactly where I'm going with it. You're absolutely right, because like you just said, the stores are packed. Somebody in their right mind would think that if they're taking Columbus Day away and they're saying that this is Indigenous Peoples Month, that should cause you to think. That should cause you to want to support your brother, your sister, who were slaughtered on this continent. But it doesn't. Why? Because a gift destroys the heart. A gift destroys the mind. It's like, go ahead, sir.
And I want to bring up too, the Native Indians living way worse than us.
Right.
The average nigga in America, they got the poor nigga in America, they get like, you know what I'm saying, that's on like income and things like that, like Social Security or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They get like $12,000 a year. Right. So niggas getting $12,000. Niggas on disability get like $12,000 a year, right? And then, you know what I'm saying, Native Indians, they get like $5,000 a year, the average person. And everybody ain't getting that, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like everybody ain't getting disability. Some niggas just poor. Niggas just ain't just getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? But the Native Indians, they ain't getting nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? So, white man is definitely the devil, especially this time in this time. Ain't nobody getting them out turkeys no more. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't going there to give them no more turkeys, but you know what I'm saying? They get the niggas turkeys. That's why they celebrate that. And I believe that's just a tactic to, you know what I'm saying, make us separate from the Native Indians and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they looking at us like, damn, y'all celebrate that shit. And we used to take y'all niggas in, you know what I'm saying, when y'all was in slavery, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. But things got lost in translation because, like, no one understands history anymore anyway. So You know, a lot of us don't even know what the Native Indians have done for us, and you know, vice versa.
Right.
You know, and it's sad. You know what I'm saying? Because if I would have known what the Native Indians done for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have known that I had allies and I wouldn't be alone in this world when I was in the world.
And I wanted to say that and even when we say that we're rich, you know, as far as monetary, I mean, look at Kanye West. They still hold you at a point. They're only gonna let you go as far as they want you to go.
Right.
You know, they can tear you down anytime. You know, I mean, look at the government, the IRS. They can come up with these fake ass taxes and say you owe $4 billion worth of taxes and you only worth $3 billion.
Right.
You know, so it's like they have us where they want us, and they're gonna keep us where they want us. So I don't care how much money you have. I mean, like he had billions.
Right.
They stripped them up.
Right.
Instantly, in a matter of a second.
Exactly.
So when you say I'm rich,
right,
it's according to how long he wants you to be rich.
Right.
You know, it's just no freedom. We just gotta keep on striving and keep on fighting.
Right. And if I may, well, both of you are bringing out it so heavy because, sir, what you bring out about, you know, even the dollar amounts that we get, right? He uses the dollar amounts to have us at war with each other, right? You know, we don't have a land. The Latinos don't have a land, although they think Mexico is their land, but it's not, right? Our First Nation brothers and sisters, they think some of them have a land because they're on a reservation. No, that's a place of death and destruction. And because there's a casino on that land and they get $5,000 a year, so on and so forth, those dollar amounts separate us, you know. And then those of us who are slaving, right, dollar amounts separate us, right? A brother that's making $5,000 a year, $10,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $200,000 a year, right? We're against each other because of a damn tax bracket. You know, because this brother makes this amount of money per year, he thinks he's better than this brother over here. This sister makes this amount of money, this sister makes this amount of money, thinks you're better than. No, we're one nation. And all of that money, 10% of it should be going to Commanding General Yohana. I don't care if you make $5 an hour. That $5 an hour need to build this nation.
Right.
That $5 need to put paint on the walls. That $5 need to put carpet on the floor. That $5 needs to pay PG&E. So you got anything else?
No, that was it. Yeah, that was it.
All right, with that, once again, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street under the Commanding General Yohana. I want to say shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, brought the thumbs to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar, Allah Shem Yahshai to all the sisters. Class dismissed.